Hello there, welcome to part 3 on the Emily tutorial series. Hopefully you've enjoyed part 1, the melody, part 2, the chords. You're going to need especially part 2 to be able to improvise, because you need to know what the next chord is so that you can improvise a bit more nicely. I'm going to put timestamps below, and the video is going to have some kind of structure, but I'm going to improvise my way through the examples. So step by step to help you. Anything I talk about in this video, it can be applied to any other repertoire. So in a way, we're not really learning how to improvise over Emily. We're learning how to improvise over the chord progression that I gave you in video 2, which also appears in other songs. That's how you need to think about jazz. You're improvising over a 1-6-2-5-1 progression rather than Emily. That's kind of the idea. So the master key is G. The best thing to do is forget the left hand for the moment. This is a waltz. It could be a 4/4 time swing, but it's a waltz, swing waltz. So try to feel the 3/4 time. Put a metronome if you need, or a backing track somewhere. First of all, just get used to playing only the notes of G major, the master key that we're actually in, and try to find patterns of improvising. In other words, don't just play, just like, notes like this. That's just playing the major scale. Try to be a bit more melodic, and that means different things for different people. So for example, I might just kind of forget the chords, because the chords are diatonic, so G major is going to work with all the chords of the song, and it's completely fine. So just try to find melodic ideas like this. This is a bit more interesting than just playing all the notes in the same way. It's not very exciting. Let me just try another one. Sometimes I'm putting a grace note in. That's a nice thing to do. It's called an ornament. So I might kind of go, I'm also feeling the 1, 2, 3. See, it's just a bit more interesting. So first of all, mess around with the master key that the chords are in. I'll bring in the left hand momentarily. The next thing to do is, when you're just messing around with that, try to purposefully play phrases which begin or end on a note of interest. Now that can be a safe note, which is a note of 1, 3, 5, 7, but it can also be the 9 or maybe the 13. Now, of course, as the chord is changing, those note values become different. For example, the F sharp is major 7 when it's on 1, but when you play the E, chord 6, it becomes the 9. So that's kind of the next stage. But first of all, just get used to doing it in the 1 key of G major. And then when you start to introduce the chords, you've only got 3 beats to catch up with that kind of thinking. But so worry about that later. Just start on the key of G. So I'm going to sort of start on the major 7 here, and I might end on the E, the 13, for my little phrase. Just like that, just in the key of G. I might do another one on the 9 up to the, maybe coming back to the 9. So I'm just adding a bit more layer of theory, but without letting it interfere with my actual random melodic idea. So that's definitely the first thing to do. Now the second thing is to play the notes of the chord that you're actually playing in the left hand. Now you've only got 3 beats for this because it's quite a sort of fast moving waltz. So of course slow it down. You can't play all the notes at the same time. Sometimes you only need to play 1. And then of course we'll do the same thing. You'll take the notes of the chords and then you'll add the notes of interest. So start with the 9. So the key of G, that'd be the A. So I might just kind of go just like that. And when we get to E, the 9 is the F sharp, but I'm still going to play the 9. I'm going to see the notes of the chord and add the F sharp. So I don't remember what I did. It's not about remembering, it's different every time. That was quite a nice little one. Let's do another one. I might go up here outside the octave. That's quite a pretty one. Then when we get to the A, I'll play A minor 7 in this inversion. The 9 is B. That was quite nice. And then I might even play those same notes when I get to D, because that is in the key of D now. 9, 13. So if you can try and put that together with a bit of practice, it doesn't just come, in 10 seconds. Highlighting the notes of the chord with the 9. 9, 9, back down to the 13. There's one extra fancy one there, which is quite nice. And then let's just move on to the next part to think about another idea. Another idea in improvising is to use chromatic connections. So you've got your notes of the chord, or you can choose the major scale of the key you're in, and as you create these intentional phrases, sometimes you'll put little chromatic notes. It could be one chromatic passing tone, like that, or it could be a whole run, or it could be, you know, all the way up here like that. That was a passing tone on purpose. Something like that, something really long and extreme. So experiment. Normally you might just do 1, 2, or 3 notes in a chromatic phrase. So let me just do it really slowly. I'll put the left hand in so you can hear it. I'll play this G major 7 inversion, second. So I might kind of go like that. Here I'm looking at the major scale of G. I started on the major 7, 5, passing tone. The passing tones are not in the master key up to the 13. So you get like a major 13 sound. So passing tone over to there to the 13 of D. See? Now hopefully this is not too overwhelming. It's just the major scale. You can literally play the major scale up and down if you want to, just to really prove to yourself that it just works. But even if you play it, try to play it a bit more melodically. Like you see, it literally works if you just go up and down it. But it sounds a bit more interesting if you just try and break it up into these nice little melodic phrases. Another thing which comes to my mind is call and response. This is based in the blues, the beginning of the blues. If you do a bit of research about that, you'll understand where call and response comes from. And it's something like this. It's more of an idea in your mind than actually something physical that you do. But the idea is you might call and response between each chord. So in G major, I might kind of go a call. And then that was the answer. And then in A, a call, a response. Like that. It's just a nice sort of structural way to improvise instead of just getting lost in long linear lines. So it's quite a nice one to do. I'll just move on to the next section when it goes back to 1, and then you go to a G7. But I'll just give you a nicer chord there because it does sound nice to play a G13 in the left hand. 7, 3, 13, or 6. It's quicker to say 7. It's quicker to say 7, 3, 6. 7 and 6 makes 13. Easy way to remember it. So we get back to G major, like this. We come to this, and then of course we go up a 4th to C major 7, as you know from video 2, and we go up again a 4th to F7. Again, you can play a nice F13 there. Put the 9 in there. That's all in video 2, so let's not get caught up in that. I'll just continue onto that part, and we'll take the same ideas. So let's just imagine we've gone around, and we get back to G, G7, up a 4th, up a 4th. So. So if you play that back, you'll see that I was playing notes of the chord there with an occasional passing tone. Let me do one where there's a bit more of a chromatic connection in that same part. Just a bit more chromatic connection there. Now, taking it a bit further, what you can do is, it's nice if you blend some melodic ideas with a chord. So let me give you an example. There's lots of things that come together. You don't just only do this all the time. You might just do this on one chord in the whole piece, but it's just a nice idea to practice like excessively just to get it into your fingers. So the idea is it doesn't matter what the melody is because we're improvising. We're not embellishing the melody, we're improvising, which is different. So you might just start on your G. I have a video on things the left hand can do, but I'll just drop a couple of them here. Bass, chord, bass, chord, bass, chord with a little drop. I call it a semitone drop. Here I'm playing D7 flat 5, but you should know that from video 2. So that's kind of going on the left hand. Another thing you can do is just to literally just play the bass with a 5. Because they're safe notes, 1/5 octave. So the right hand here, you're going to sort of play part of the chord, but you're going to allow the top part of it to move around a bit. So I'll do it really slowly. Like that, just that. I've just got the D on here, extending the chord a bit. It sounds quite nice. Bit of pedal even is coming in there. We get to E. I'm quite near E, it's just here. Get to the A. Passing tone, D. passing tone because I'm going to land on the G. Here's a flat 5, I like that. See, that's a weird chord. That's a major 7 with a flat 5. Not supposed to be here, but it's a passing tone, so it's acceptable. There are no wrong notes in jazz. See, it sounds quite nice in context. So my right hand is just doing a bit of melody on the top, doesn't matter what fingering, it comes naturally, but it's helping the left hand by playing 1 or 2 extra notes, sometimes the same notes, just to broaden the sound a bit. That's quite a nice thing to do. Now I'll just move a bit further forward into the song where it goes onto the 1-6-2-5 turnaround based on the 6. You can see this photo on my Instagram page at danthecomposer. And it just simply goes to the key of E, which is the 6th of G, and you just literally do a 1-6-2-5. So again, those are diatonic to the key of E. So as if we're going back to the beginning of the video, you can just play the notes of E major and they will work. They just work. So make it sound a bit more interesting. Just a bit more melodic, you see? So try to mess around with things like that. And again, we can do what I've just said about moving the chords around. So I might do something like, I'll do it a bit more slowly for you. I'm playing E major 7 here, but moving up. Just playing around on the key of E major there. It's actually the chord actually becomes a flat 9, so it's quite nice to put the flat 9 in with the thumb. So the right hand is helping the left hand. It's quite a nice thing to do. I wanted to not make the video too long, so I just wanted to say one other thing, which is a rhythmic thing actually, where you just kind of it's almost like you're not playing with the left and the right hand. You do this to cut. It's like a practice idea, technical exercise in a way. You take off your foot from the pedal and you just kind of like poke around at the chord with random melodies, which sounds like we've already done it, but it's not the same. You're kind of like doing it all staccato with individual fingers. I'll do it really slowly. So first of all, I'm playing G major. I'll just do it in G major first before I go through the chord progression. So just do something like this. I'll just stay on G major 7. So I'll just kind of, I don't know what the word is really, bopping, I suppose, I don't know, but just poking, I like to say. So my right hand is sometimes playing a chord, sometimes some individual notes, but also the left hand is doing the same thing. But when you put that into the chords, so I'm going to go G major 7, E minor 7, A minor 7, D7, probably with a flat 5, something like I'm just playing anything. I'm just sort of demonstrating how you just poke around with the chord. That kind of thing. That's quite a fun thing to do as well. Maybe another thing I can just end with is with the pedal is freestyle. Many people like to play freestyle, which means that you're not really following the 1, 2, 3 time signature. So you're literally just playing anything you want. And you can do that by getting a bit more of a kind of flowy left hand. You're not really thinking about time signatures or anything or bars. You're just sort of playing anything. You just think, oh, I'm in the key of G. I'm just going to do anything on the key of G. Normally you might do that in the right hand with kind of nice block shapes where the 3 and 5 in the middle don't move. B and D, and you just kind of move around. Get to E, just move around like that. You don't have to do it all with the 4-note chord. You can just do it with the 3rd or the 5th in the middle. But just kind of, you just forget the timing. You're just kind of going, oh, okay, it's etc., etc. So I don't know what I did there. I'm just kind of playing the chords, putting a couple of notes in there, but I'm not playing the melody, so it is kind of improvised. Somehow, when you put all those different ideas together in any repertoire, it'll sound quite jazzy. So it's just basically notes of the chord, the major scale, passing tones, which can be 1, 2, or 3, chromatic connections, grace notes, trying to create little nice interesting phrases, call and response idea, and the kind of poking thing, freestyle. The right hand helps the chord by, you know, kind of moving up and helping the left hand a bit. If you put all that together, I think you're going to have quite a lot of fun. So there you go. As always, likes, comments, subscriptions are always welcome. Have a look at my video management website, Waterpianism, Sidivus, and perhaps Patreon, and I'll see you in the next video. All the best. Bye for now.